Hi there. My name is DEADONDAVE, and tonight we're going to do a show. But I just realized, well, no, we're okay. I thought we couldn't hear me, but we can. We're going to do a show tonight, you see? And this show is going to really rile people up. Why? Because you're a bunch of smart-ass bitches. That's why. You see, we're going to be talking about Tony Khan. Tony Khan, man, as I like to call him. We're going to talk about him tonight. Now, look, these are my opinions, okay? My opinions on the overall product of AEW and the overall person that Tony Khan has shown himself to be, okay? So if you need to go get your tissues now, go get them. But don't come back here and be like, oh, you're just a hater. No, okay? Here you go. Let's go. Let's start the show, shall we? Okay. Where's my intro music? Yeah, there. Start it up. There we go. There. Yeah. Yes, you know it's true. Dead on date is you. Yeah.
I like the way that you make me feel
What's going on there? How you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. What is today? It is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. If you could believe that, holy crap, and my chat's in the wrong area. How in there we go. There we go. How you guys doing? All right, it is the MushPuff Club, my late night Xanadu. We got an interesting one tonight. I've not done an official show on Tony Khan or AEW, really, as of yet. Not an official show. Not one where I really go in to everything about what I'm feeling and the things that are happening with the current wrestling world. Because it's not really for me. There's nothing that's making me go, In fact, there is a lot that's making me go, just cringed to the max. And wrestling is easily cringed in the first place. So it's a little frustrating when somebody comes along like Tony Khan, man, who either is working. Well, he could be working. Honestly, he's being so over the top. But I don't feel he is anymore. I don't think he's working anybody. I feel this is legitimate. I feel this is truly who he is, which is terrifying, to be frank. And I wasn't sure until the Bischoff stuff started. I don't think Bischoff would be a part of a convoluted half metal work that this is becoming, if it would be anything like that. It's just bizarre. But when Bischoff got involved, and now Tony Khan going back at him, I'm starting to have different feelings about the whole thing, especially just about Tony Khan. So we're going to talk about that throughout the course of the show. I also feel like we're going to have to talk about the Dave Chappelle thing really fucking soon. So expect me to be watching Dave Chappelle's latest special tonight right in the Discord. Right in the Discord. But we'll get to that later. This is going to be my symphony when it comes to just trying to get everything. See, look, it doesn't matter how much I dislike the product of AEW. I'm going to be fair. I understand there are things that work within AEW. Not necessarily for me, but I understand that they're there. I do. How can I not? I'm not a friggin' idiot. It's there, and I understand that people were hungry for something different, an alternative. They have since WCW. They thought they were getting it with TNA. They were led astray, and I think that's the thing. This is pattern based. We've seen this before. We've seen a more successful version of this, and I didn't think so at first. I thought AEW far surpassed anything TNA did back in the day, but now I'm not so sure. I honestly think that TNA put up a much better fight than AEW is going to. And some of you might be going, what the fuck are you talking about? Look, the reality is more people were watching wrestling back then than they are now. Just were. Just were. It's just a fact of the fucking matter. They just were. People are stopping watching the product, and I personally feel it's because of this meta shit. Wrestling's a hard sell to keep people invested, especially as they get older and the other sports get involved. It's hard to keep wrestling fans invested in what they know is already fraudulent. So when you continue to do the wink and a smile, when you continue to do the things that a lot of the top stars in AEW were doing at the beginning. Now, they're kind of letting back because Tony Khan is a bigger market or smark than anybody that's on that fucking roster, and that's saying something. But the further we've gone here, the more I've realized that this really isn't a work. This isn't a... They really are believing this. And the inability to see what came before is really troubling to me. But the biggest issue that I'm having is because, like I said, this is Tony Khan, man. He's selling you snake oil, guys. I have a lot of friends who are buying into the AEW stuff, and I'm not here to change your mind. I don't care if you like it. Like what you like. Watch whatever product you want. I don't like WWE very much right now, although I will say the last 2 months, maybe a month and a half, I've enjoyed WWE, at least 2 of the 3 shows, more than anything else that I've watched anywhere outside of WWE. Those 2 shows being NXT, I've really enjoyed the revamp, and SmackDown, which has been really, 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 really good. But I digress. It's what Tony's done is he's really taken you guys to this warlike mentality state, which is funny considering they were anti that. They were saying they were anti that, all while taking all the shots. But now they're back at this like open war shit, and they're not even trying to be subtle, which is one thing. But I don't think you can lead with lies, and that's the problem. Tony's lying, and it's provable. You know, he's showing you guys things that simply aren't true. He's pointing to things and painting a narrative that somehow they're the victims. They're the ones who are being bullied by WWE somehow. Bullied, I say. Look, you could take AEW out of the equation as far as competition. Anybody who's in that time slot is some sort of competition to WWE. So regardless of who it was, if there was this type of momentum or perceived momentum on a night where WWE is having to switch from their primary, and we got to remember how important this is, kids, their primary television station on Friday nights, Fox, to a much smaller platform in FS1. You know, we have to remember that happens, and when that happens, what comes with it? Smaller audiences, smaller draws, and being able to paint this picture of somehow being the bullied party is just disgusting to me. And it's very frustrating when I look at it, when I continue to see the same patterns, especially with Tony, continue to reveal themselves over and over. This entire false narrative of whether it be NXT back in the day when it was on Wednesday nights, or now this entire thing like they're somehow being pushed out because WWE decided to actually compete back, because anybody who's in that time slot is going to be competition. So WWE made a small move, all while promoting a very, very big pay-per-view for them. And we forget that. Everybody seems to forget that. This is part of the promotion, the final build. It was the final SmackDown before Crown Jewel. A pretty important pay-per-view for WWE considering the money that they get. And they are promoting it. And unfortunately, they had to be bumped to FS1. So what's a good way to promote? Go a half hour longer and, yeah, shake up the competition a little bit. And sure, give a commercial free. You want to go ahead and it didn't matter who it was. If it was a wrestling program on, that's the move, especially if you're trying to promote your product. So this entire narrative is fraudulent from the beginning, just like it was with NXT, about somehow NXT already existing on Wednesday nights for years. Somehow they're the ones who competed against AEW. They literally just said this narrative the other day. I literally just heard them say this fucking narrative the other day. It was fucking insanity to me to see this. And now to see it repeated with this is even crazier. Because, of course, they're going to do something. But that doesn't mean they're doing it out of fear or worry of AEW. They're just competing against a time slot and competing against a promotion that they desperately need to put forth. So you go and you have this. And to say that Tony was brazen would be one thing. Before the numbers even came out, a week before all this happened, this guy decided to throw the gauntlet down and said, I'm going to kick your ass next week. And then and then the numbers showed that CM Punk in a match could barely draw 500,000 views, and he was probably shitting himself. So if you notice the rest of the wrestling news all week, and by the way, the wrestling journalism is fucking disgusting because they're in total bed with AEW, and it's almost abhorrent, to be completely honest. Journalism, my God. These guys ain't it. Good God. But they paint the narrative of the demographic. The demographic. It's no longer just about who beats who. Now the goalposts start to be moved. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then the numbers start to get leaked about Friday. Goalpost, goalpost, goalpost. Because in that half-hour slot, WWE drew about, 400,000 more viewers? But because Tony Khan wants to push to you so hard that he's going to win no matter what, they draw a fucking advanced stat analytic move from baseball. Like, you know why I threw this guy is because, him against left-handers on the road at night on a Thursday, he's almost unhittable. That's the type of fucking logic. That's the type of move that he pulled. He's like, so, that demographic that doesn't really matter anymore, but that demographic that we're going to really, because there's so many numbers in it. There's so many numbers in it. These motherfuckers are trying to convince you. And WWE's at fault in regards, if anybody is doing the same thing, they're just as at fault. It's 500,000 people, guys. It's 500,000 people. That's the number. I don't care what percentage. It's less than a quarter of the entire drawing audience. But that's irrelevant to me. It's the size of the number that's important. That's the demographic. Think about that. That's what they're fighting about. That's what they're obsessed with. They're obsessed with ruling the roost over about 500,000 to 600,000 people, and that's all they're concerned with. That's it. That should be very telling to you. If the number was bigger, it would make more sense. But that number, those guys, they're one-time buyers of things most of the time. One-time buyers. And AEW tries to tell you that being a fan of them makes you more affluent because they want you to buy more of their shit. And they also, while telling you that being a fan of them, you're more likely to not be insulted intelligently by the AEW. The entire thing, this entire fucking setup should be insulting to your intelligence. For them to claim victory when they were clearly beaten by WWE is I don't even have the right word for it. Like, it's indefensible. You're really going to go the advanced analytic way and be like, well, we got the technical victory here by about 180,000 people, and it doesn't matter that most of these have a fucking variance of about 100,000 people. That doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? This guy is a fucking clown. Tony Khan is clown shoes. Tony Clown. Spell it with a K. That's fine. He is fucking clown shoes. And he's pushing me away from wrestling because and I think CM Punk has emboldened him so much. What's up, River? Someone should start Mid-South Cowboy Bill Watts. Fuck Bill Watts. I can't believe that Fake is remaining quiet. He'll be, he's not around. He's not around. But ever since CM Punk has shown up, I mean, like, Tony Khan speaks more like him almost. Like, this whole fucking, CM Punk is one of the most full of shit fucking people that I have ever heard talk in my life. He is going to get the self-victory no matter what. The mental gymnastics on that guy is pretty fucking crazy. But Tony's even crazier. Tony has a remarkable ability to go even farther. He's drinking his own Kool-Aid. Some of the biggest transgressions that CM Punk makes is the fact that he just swigs his own fucking Kool-Aid. Well, guess what? Chug-a-lug Tony Khan. He's drinking. And I don't know if this is show. I don't know if Tony Khan, because I didn't feel that he was this guy at the beginning, but I sort of had the feeling that he was, and a lot of insiders, back where they weren't all sucking the dick of Tony Khan in AEW, they were saying he was a mark. They were saying he was trying really hard to be one of the boys, and then he took the power from all the boys. But that could be easily justified. Maybe he's supposed to act a fool. Maybe he was supposed to act like a complete douche nozzle. Maybe that's the whole point. So even when the wrestlers do, Tony's a million times worse. Maybe that's the plan. I don't think it is, though. I want to give a benefit of the doubt because I don't think anybody can be this delusional, but it's hard to give the benefit of the doubt when it's this bad. The product really hasn't improved. Not really. The women's division, I will say, has gotten markedly better, but it's still pretty thin. And you got pretty much nothing for me in the main roster. I'm just being honest with you. There's not many things that get me going. Adam Cole, I'm a little disappointed. And I kind of see, before Adam Cole came to WWE, I wasn't a huge fan because he was almost a cartoon. And then in NXT, when some of these guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they got a hold of him and taught him a little nuance, taught him a little poise. I felt like honed in, reined in Adam Cole was way more effective. And now he's back with his buddies, and he's so over the top where he's not even I keep going back in my mind to that spot a couple weeks ago, the non-spot, where he runs the ropes and then as he's going to jump over, goes, Adam Cole, back. The smile on his, I get that he's having fun, and it's great that he's having fun, but he's a caricature now. And I don't enjoy caricatures. MJF is another one. MJF has like the love that this guy gets for just saying dirty words. He gets cheap heat. He got owned on a radio show by a fucking fat co-host. Owned because the guy, he only has the basics. He called him type 3 diabetes, a joke that I've heard a million fucking times. Like, the guy's got nothing. He sees what's in front of him, and he has about 10 to 15 cut downs that he uses, and they're always the fucking same. And then this fat guy was shooting back at him the whole time, and then MJF makes a big fucking error, and the host of the show has to call him. And then the guy, and what does MJF comes back with? I just don't fucking care. We know. Everybody knows. Everybody can tell that you don't care. Everybody can tell. And that's the problem, is whenever there's pushback, whenever there's opposition, whenever there's anything that is to push against the narrative, it's, I don't care anyway. I don't care. It's always, you're going to be like that somehow. I don't care. I don't fucking care. You're such a badass. No, it's boring to me. That's all. It's nothing personal. It's just boring. It's boring. It's not very effective to me. It's cheap. It's cheap. And AEW relies overall on a lot of cheap things. And if the product would be improving and getting better and giving me more of a reason to invest, that'd be great. But they'd still have this fucking albatross of Tony Khan. When Eric Bischoff is telling you to shut the fuck up, and by the way, if you haven't heard what Eric Bischoff said about Tony Khan, go fucking listen. Because Eric Bischoff is a guy who has authority in this situation. He could speak on this. He's quite literally lived this life. Not the same way, because he was a little more accomplished, I feel, in wrestling and just in general with how he came up than Tony Khan. This is just my opinion. Tony Khan's a fan. But I haven't seen anything that shows me a lot of Tony Khan's roots within wrestling that makes me make sense in my head why he should be running an organization. Bischoff barely had the ability. Like Flair talked about it all the time. Why is he had no business, he had no right. You know, a lot of people said that about Bischoff back in the day, but he made it work. He really did, and he was able to capitalize on a lot of things. So he understands how this goes. And the biggest thing that Bischoff was saying, and this is what got ignored by Khan and by a lot of fans I'm noticing, is he's not telling Khan to just shut up and wrestle, which I think is a great piece of advice. Shut up and wrestle. Stop talking about WWE. Stop driving people away. Stop forcing the choice. And that's what drives me crazy about AEW fans and their nonstop posts. You gotta just watch both, or not watch if you don't. No, you don't get the takeaway choices. You don't get the push away. Fuck off. I'll watch whatever I want. If I choose not to like it, I could choose not to like it. I've been doing this shit for a long time. As far as the radio show type things, this is what we do. We can talk about these things. Why the fuck are we starting to live in a world where you can't complain? Where you can't talk about what's wrong at all? Like, shit. Why is shut up everybody's first fucking response? No, don't talk about it. Shut up. If you don't like it, just shut up. Why? Why is that it? Why is that the play? That's not the play. It's not the play. All it's going to do is continue to drive away this elitist attitude. All elite wrestling. It's one of the most aptly named things I've ever seen because it's only appealing to the elites. Or the people who think they're elites, like CM Punk. You see how it all is starting to make a lot of fucking sense there? And Tony Khan is sitting right there just pounding them back. And what Eric Bischoff was so desperately trying to get across here was, if you're going to talk this shit, at least actually compete. Don't do this cosplay, make-believe, build your own adventure, I'm going to win no matter what narrative. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. He's getting away with it, but that's because the audience is so small. Once more people start hearing about this, trust me, there will be backlash because only a small amount of people are able to digest the bullshit that this guy is spewing. It doesn't even make sense. It defies all fucking logic and reasoning, because what Eric was telling him was, if you're going to talk this shit, really compete. Really compete. Don't pull this advanced analytic bullshit. In the 30 minutes, they don't talk about the demographic of SmackDown in the 1845 the entire rest of the 2 hours, which more than likely obliterated anything that AEW fucking put up that night. Guaranteed. They won the night. SmackDown won the fucking night in the demographic overall. If they want to claim a 30-minute fucking victory in a 500,000 person category, like, what is that telling you? Are we not paying attention? Are we not seeing how fucking stupid that is? You're either competing directly or you're not. You don't get to say WWE gets a handicap in the verdict here because they're bigger. No, that doesn't work. You're choosing to compete. You're choosing to turn everything they do into a slight against you when they're not bringing you up. Very few, only the top guys are even fucking going sparring on the webs with you guys. With some of the and some of the lower people are actually getting punished for going to buddy, or these are competing companies. I think we forget that. It's the same thing as football teams or sports teams. It's okay to have a rivalry with this stuff. I don't remember it ever being toxic with WCW and WWF back in the day. I just don't. I was also a kid and I watched both products. I remember some of the targeted marketing, WCW. But again, that's okay when you're really competing. when you're really going head to head, you can go ahead and talk that shit. But when you're not, you're just taking pot shots from the sidelines, it just looks bitch. It just looks bitch. And the more people that get their eyes on it, the more they're going to fucking realize this and call it out, because only a small amount of people can be fooled and duped like this for so long. It's really fucking ridiculous. And it's sad because he's cringing up my wrestling. He's cringing up my fucking wrestling. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Wrestling's already hard enough to really connect with a lot of the time anyway. We don't need to make it harder. And we certainly don't need to make it so divided. And that's really what I do feel that AEW pushes. I hope they go head to head the same day eventually. Jason, you shouldn't want that if you want them to survive. They need to stay the fuck away from. They're gonna get buried, bro. They're gonna get absolutely buried. They're not gonna be able to continue to choose their own fucking adventure. They're not gonna be able to go to Wednesdays and go, "Ooh, they're competing with us," even though we came to this night. They're competing with us, and we're gonna beat them, even though we should. But they're not really a brand, but they are. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. If they go to Monday or Friday in a time slot directly against WWE, they're fucking done. The audience isn't there to support, and I'm telling you, man, almost 9 times out of fucking 10, the viewing audience is going to choose what's familiar, even if they are really enjoying AEW. And I honestly think that the hype is really starting to wear down as far as the wrestling. It's not getting people. It's got to be something sensationalized to get people talking. It's the stuff outside. It's not stuff inside the ring, and that's just should be worrisome. This should be troubling. It's troubling to me, and I don't even like AEW. I don't want them to go under. I want to see them thrive. I want to see them thrive and become real competition. I want to see them become an actual, real, functioning federation. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to feel that way. I'm a fucking WCW guy. I want to feel Atlanta again. I want to feel the fucking the Georgia Dome. I want to feel that fucking shit. When fucking Goldberg gets Hogan up. I want that feeling again. But this ain't it. Something feels different. Maybe it's just I'm older and more jaded. That's possible too. But this ain't it. This is cringy. Especially when you're arguing over such a small number. Like, you're killing the sport while talking about being dominant. You're cutting the head off the fucking beast here. There's going to be nothing to be king over. So I personally hope AEW stays far away from direct competition with the WWE for a while. Just for a while. Because they have to. If they want to, you got to start making your own mark at some point. You can't just start being the little brother. I must say the crowd is always insane for Dynamite. Yeah, and you know what? They were insane for Ryback too, man. I hate that I have to continue to fucking make the same argument that continues to prove it's fucking self-correct. No, it's not even full of marks. I don't have a problem with the audience. I have a problem with the smart fanship that goes to the fucking internet and starts blowing things up in a fraudulent manner, because that is what happened with Ryback. And Ryback is kind of the perfect comparison. Ryback is a fairly untalented guy. I'm just being real with you. Creative, but he's not really that talented. He's not. He's not a very good speaker. He's not even a very good podcast host. I've tried to watch his show. He's just not a good speaker. The guy does not have a good command. He tries to, but he's just not. He's missing a chromosome or something. I don't know. But the fucking fans this was a time where yes was happening. It was the chants were becoming crazy. Chants were really, really huge. And this Feed Me More chant just caught on. But every time the matches would start, it would lessen. Now, because the fan base in AEW is so important to the product, and AEW really goes out of their way, and I don't feel this is a good thing most of the time, to make the audience really feel like they are the sixth man. Like it's a little, they placate him. They like, here's our baby. You're so good. You're important. You're so important. You're so important. Look at you. Problem is you'll start to buy that. So the crowds are going to be into these things, and especially when they feel they're part of the movement. But the issue is the movement isn't growing. You see? The movement, they could sell out with that same number. They could sell out all these stadiums. Of course they're going to. WrestleMania sells out, even though the product has been going down the tubes for fucking 10, 15 years. Still sells out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But if these sellouts are still happening while the overall demographic and world is shrinking, that's not a victory. That's my concern. That's my worry. See, that's where I feel this is going. Because I don't think most people really do gravitate towards this. I think they're off-put by it. I think they get put off by having to constantly It's like, why do we have to talk about it all the fucking time? Wrestling's supposed to be a escape and at points throughout your day to just fucking get out of all of it. And it's a good escape because it's so ridiculous. But they got to make this shit about fucking real shit, and everyone's bitter and fucking misuse this, and I have more money than you, and what the fuck is going on? Tony bitch-ass conman actually pulled the I have more money than them card. Well, your father has more money than them, surely. But I don't know about you, kid. And I got to be honest. Running this mouth, I don't know how long TBS, TNT, Time Warner, the whole shebang bang is going to like it because they've lived it. I don't know how many executives and higher ups are still there from those days. But I'm telling you, they got to be getting phone calls from people who were. Red fucking flags. Get this man to shut the fuck up. Get him to shut the fuck up. Please. See, I said that at the beginning of the show, Jason. I was thinking that too. I thought he was doing that. There's a possibility that maybe, because if you remember, when all this started, Tony was always talking about how there was never going to be a bad guy boss type character, you know. And now he's kind of lying, even though it's not on screen yet. But trust me, it's coming. Trust me. If this isn't a work, it's coming. If it is a work, I don't think he can do it because it's too duh. Yeah, this is too hypocritical, even for him. So we'll see. Unless he just is that, we'll find out. But he was saying he wasn't gonna do that shit, and then but the guys were, the elite were. They Jericho still does, but Jericho was. Everybody was taking the shots. Everybody was constantly talking, chirping. They're doing less of that. They still do it, but it's not their whole world. Tony Khan now does it. And he does it even more since the biggest bitter bitch this side of Bret fucking Hart now works at AEW and CM Punk. And he's sounding like these guys. There are some very valid points that I think need to be brought up against WWE. The way they treat their talent overall. And really what I mean by that is the lack of definition. The defined, undefined. You know, they treat their people like employees in 95% of the way, except for in title and in a couple other little things. But I don't think being full employees is a great idea I think the contractor is a better way to go, personally, especially if it's an independent contractor without an exclusivity agreement, which I don't understand, does not have any play anymore. Because, again, when you're making it exclusive, you are making them an employee, whether you want to admit that or not. But that needs to change. Something needs to change within that paradigm. There's a lot of things that do need to be addressed. Creatively on screen, I don't really care. You know, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say they need to do this and they need to do that, because the reality is I know that my main time as a wrestling fan is probably done. And what I mean by that is I'm not who they're going to be targeting. I'm 38. They're targeting my kid. They're targeting people way younger. I understand the demographic, But that demographic, like I said, on Friday night was 500,000 people. Doesn't matter that. That's why WWE targets more. Because why limit yourself? Why make it only watchable? And if you think I'm wrong on that, just look at how much they've relied lately on the swear words. No parent's going to let their fucking kids watch that. Not when they're dropping a shit every fucking 2 seconds. And they're going to actually say that they say things like they're trying to be the most inclusive. No, you're not. You're picking exactly who you want to market to, and you're using your eliteness to fucking even justify it. Like there's a problem here. It's fucking crazy to me, and that's my issue. It's not. I would say my problem is so much more the way they go about all of this than it is the actual in-ring product. Now, that being said, it is still a pretty shit in-ring product. If it gets better, well, then maybe winning gets all this away. It doesn't matter how bad you are off the fucking field, how much you chirp. If you're catching touchdowns, Terrell Owens, you're God. You can cry about your quarterback all day fucking long. You can chirp to the fucking cows come home. But you got to win. And that's what Tony Khan... See, Khan sort of understands that. That's why he's so desperate to make anything look like a victory. And he's so unwilling to say, you know, I was wrong. I was wrong. He can't do it. He can't do it. God help them if they go head-to-head within the next 6 months to a year. If they really go head-to-head, God help. Do it against Raw. Right now, see, this is the stupidity of fucking Monday night is wide open. If you believe in your product so much, this is the time to go. The demos matter in wrestling. Not really. Not really. They it's a feeding. It's like the 18 to 45 has an important. I think that that's such a big gap. Because 18 to 25 is definitely one thing different than 25 to 40. You know, I think they're two different worlds. The likelihood of a 25-year-old having a kid to that of a fucking under 25 to 18-year-old is exponential. And that's a completely different demographic. That's a completely different market because now you're thinking for not only what the guy likes personally, but now what the person has to think about what his children like. He's thinking differently. And they're not taking that into account. So, I don't know. But if you're that sure of the product and you're that confident, that why not go after Monday night right fucking now? 3 months ago. The ratings are the worst they've ever been on Monday. They are no longer the A show. SmackDown is growing great numbers. Well, for the time, they're not great numbers. They're shrinking numbers like everything else in wrestling, which is a huge part of the point here. It's going down, not up. What the fuck is Taker doing in Saudi? Apparently, he introduced Pitbull. Pitbull's doing a concert over there, and the Undertaker. I'd like to introduce to the stage. I don't know why I started doing the Triple H thing there, boy, but the Reaper of Souls would like to introduce you to the one, the only Pitbull. How fucking great is that? I don't. He'll probably show up. I got to assume he's going to do something in Saudi Arabia. That Saudi money, man, you know, he's already said Vince throws enough of that Saudi money at him. It's not going to matter. Money fight. Money fight. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see the next week in wrestling where everyone's trying to stake their claim. By the way, the Discord is open. Come on in. I got an open room. You can come talk to me. You don't even have to wait for me to pull you up or pull you in or pull you off or anything. You just start talking. I'm right in there. Give me your opinions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, whatever you got. I want to hear about it when it comes to this or any other wrestling topic. This is your chance. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. Savage Jack, is there too much AEW ass-kissing by wrestling reporters? I talked about this earlier in the show, too. Absolutely. And it's they're in cahoots. I showed earlier, and you can go look this. You can see for your fucking self. The wrestling sites last week after fucking Tony Khan made a complete asshole of himself by saying, before the fucking numbers came out to show that CM Punk couldn't draw 502,000 fucking people, that he's going to kick their ass, WWE's. Somehow he's the victim here. They're coming on his turf, even though they were already on Friday nights. And an overrun is not all that uncommon, although 30 minutes. But they're being moved to FS1 on the go-home show of Saudi Arabia. The point is they were probably going long anyway, and Tony Khan, man, wants you guys to believe that they're coming for him. They're coming for him when he can't draw 500,000 people on that time slot. Now, I will say, all of the drama that he caused did have an uptick for him. About 47,000 more people showed up. That's a little bit of a number. Maybe there is something to the drama, but I got a feeling that's going to go back down because next week, SmackDown's back home. They're on Fox. Why don't you fucking go 30 minutes early on Friday night and find out exactly where you fucking measure up? Because you're going to get buried. The numbers are going to go back down next week. Next week, and I've been almost 100% right on this, next week, AEW's numbers on Rampage will be in the 400,000. 450 to 470. I got a feeling. Because WWE, and this is why they did this too, because WWE is going to dominate the next week news cycle. They're going to dominate it. They're going to absolutely dominate it. Yeah, WWE making crazy money, so why should they care? No, that's not the point. That's not the argument that we're making. See, that's the thing. That's the problem. You guys want to make the argument about something that's not the argument. WWE doesn't have a fucking perfect product or even a good product on Raw at the very least. SmackDown's banging, so stop your bitching. But that's not the argument. Of course they should. But Taker, my point with the money was Taker. Taker's talking about that Saudi Arabia money that will continue to bring him back to the ring. But nobody talks about his hypocrisy. Nobody talks about his, he's going to do, he's probably going to do something tomorrow night. He'll probably, I don't know if he's going to get physical. I don't know if that's going to count as breaking his retirement. But I can tell you this, if Vince throws enough money at him for that one show, he's going to go wrestle. And good for him. That's the point. It's not about they're making money, so don't change. No, because that wasn't good enough fucking 5 years ago, and it's certainly not going to be good enough now. Just like it's not good enough for AEW that they're making, like Tony Khan, the first thing he did when CM Punk, we made this money and this money and this record and money and record and ice cream bars. That doesn't mask the fact that the show isn't very good. You see? Goes both ways. Taker is secure to go in any bags he wants. Oh, yeah. No, Taker could do whatever he wants. But there is hypocrisy, still hypocrisy. You know, and shit, everybody else gets fucking blown out for blood money. Why doesn't he get fucking blown out for blood money? Did we forget that he was almost decapitated by Muhammad Hassan? He shouldn't even be there. Do I got to lay it on thicker? Are we starting to understand? Like, what? Come on. Come on. Get up in here. I'm running out of things to ramble about on my own. How long have we been live for? 43 minutes. Oh, my God. Oh. If you got something to say, now is the time. We're not going to go too much longer. I might switch over and start playing some shit. Or we go to Twitch and play some shit. I really haven't decided. But these are going to be a little bit more regular, especially when I have something to talk about. And especially in the wrestling world. Because I do want to talk more about this stuff. Because I found it fascinating what Eric Bischoff said. because that's the guy to listen to. Either fully compete or don't, and it's okay to just say, maybe just focus on your product and stop chirping. Because, again, the world is shrinking. It's not getting bigger. It's not expanding. And maybe it's because people don't really like this. Because it's everywhere. It's like multiverse. That's why nobody gives a fuck about the Flash. Because everyone's been doing multiverse the last 10 fucking years. Now the one who makes the most sense doing multiverse no longer fucking... Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because he already did it too. Flashpoint has already happened. Now they're going to do a fucking movie Flashpoint. Nobody cares. You do something too much, people stop caring. I don't know. Let's go take a look in the newsroom. Let's see what stories might be. Let's look at the wrestling. Let's look at the wrestling. I haven't looked in this for a while, so let's see what we have here. Oh, God. See, everything is like, I got to read all this stupid shit. Like with the executive who pitched an idea for Adam Cole to be a manager has been identified. It's Bruce Pritchard. Let's stone him. Let's drag him into the streets and beat him with a club. Beat him with a club. Kevin Owens says match against Jeff Hardy wouldn't end well. I don't know what that means. Booker T respond. See, I almost want to read this because how can Booker T respond to the criticism of the Queen's Crown tournament? I want to hear what he said. I couldn't agree more, Dave. Clap, clap, clap. Clappy, clap, clap to you. WWE's Hall of Famer Booker T. By the way, give some love to the four jobbers. I was on the show a few days ago last week. Had a great time. Bunch of good guys, man. The really, really good guys over there. They were more than fair to me. They let me talk my fucking loudmouth ass off forever. Even when I've stepped all over them. I am sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I can't de-throttle. But again, thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for being really cool about having different opinions. We really did a good job of hearing each other, I think, through all that stuff. It was a great show. It was a good conversation. And I hope to come back again. I had a fucking great time. So you guys are also welcome here anytime as well. Go check them out, the four jobbers. They're fantastic. All right, let's see here. He was okay. People may not remember. I think I had 2 matches and I won the King of the Ring tournament. The King of the Ring tournament is not about the tournament. It's about being crowned king. No, it's really. I don't agree with that. That's why I said the King of the Ring tournament is definitely going to be a tournament where winners are going to have to figure it all out as their reign as king or queen really is. I think that's just a byproduct. It shouldn't be the focus. Booker said that he went through the same process and ended up... Well, Booker's also terrible. He's also really fucking awful. That King Booker shit was fucking awful. Awful. I want to see... I don't care what he says. I want to see what he says about the women. Where is he talking about the women shit? Because you cannot defend how long these matches have been. The women have got no ability to shine. None at all. None whatsoever. Holy God, no. No. It's been not good. Who's your favorite King of the Ring winner? Ooh. Well, it's tough. The most memorable for me is still probably Stone Cold. I love that tournament. It was not a good... I love that tournament because it was 3 wins in one fucking night. There were some memorable moments. Steve getting split open. The whole storyline with Jake, who was really trying to turn his life around a little bit and doing the Bible thumping for real. And we had the birth of an iconic moment. So it's hard not to choose Stone Cold. It really is. You come in here and you want to talk about your Bret Harts. Well, fuck a Bret Hart. What? You come in here, you want to talk about your Psalms 3:16. Austin 3:16 means I'll fuck your ass. You stupid son of a bitch. You give me 1 bear, 2 bears, 3 bears, what? For me, Owen wasn't, you know what? That was the. I'm the Blackheart, the sole survivor. Woo! Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Fucking love me some Owen Hart. I love Owen. I as much as I don't like Bret is how much I like Owen. Cannot stand Bret Hart. Can't stand him. Great. Amazing. One of the single most perfect in-ring specimens in the history of the sport. But Owen's better. Burn, internet. Burn. Put the lotion on the bottom. Yeah, so who else did I like? I'm trying to remember some of the other kings that I really did enjoy, but I'm having a real hard fucking time. I gotta go back and watch some King of the Ring tournaments, man. I remember King Mabel. Oh, God. Got to go back and watch some King of the Ring. Some good fucking times. Good times. But I think I disagree with Booker T a lot because I think he's stupid. He's another guy who I just don't think has ever been all that great. Never been a huge fan of most of his biggest things. I hated his time in TNA where he the mafia. So stupid. Punch babies. That's what it makes me want to do. Ha! Shakta! Good night. All right, let's see what other news is going on there. But I'm not a big fan, and he's 100% wrong if he's saying anything to defend the length of those women's matches. For the men, you could talk about whatever you want, but for the women, this should have been an opportunity to highlight. You had none of the big draws. You had no Becky, no Sasha, no Bayley, no Charlotte, no Bianca, no Asuka, no Io. You put nobody in this fucking tournament. So the only point to have the tournament is to get motherfuckers eyeballs on them. Showcase. This was about showcasing people. Specifically, I would say Zelina Vega and Liv. But Liv fucked herself, and I think she got buried because of it. She got it because she was a little too chatty and fucking friendly over on the old internet, and WWE didn't like it because she's not Roman. She's not Randy. She's not going to get away with that shit. So, sorry, Liv. You lost your push. That's what I think happened there. Do I think it's fair? Probably not. Do I think that Liv asked for it? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think all these guys are way too fucking friendly. Way too friendly. Kayfabe is too fucking dead, son. Too fucking dead. All right, let's see here. Ladder match stipulation added to Halloween Havoc. Man, I want to love Halloween Havoc. I really do. Dewdrop and Zelina go in 30 minutes, eh? I doubt that. No, it's too late now. Now you can't do it. Now you can't start automatically focusing and try to get them over. Now it's too late. Now you got what you got. You got Zelina and Dewdrop, and you got to hope that the 3 minutes that they go is going to just end quickly and be painless for us all. Let's just hope. Let's just hope. I am somewhat excited for Halloween Havoc. Somewhat. I'm not. The look of NXT 2.0 still doesn't have me drawn in, but the show has got me. MJF claims he's better. I saw that too. The in-ring. I just. Did you see your boy get fucking owned by the fat co-host on some podunk radio show? Did you see that? Couldn't even hold it. And then when he gets called out for being wrong, guess what? I don't fucking care. We know you don't care, MJF. That's why you suck. I'm excited for Braun Breaker. I like Braun Breaker. I think he's got. If he doesn't succumb to the Steiner brain illness, this man's gonna be great. This man's going to be fucking great. But those Steiner's got a brain illness, man. There's something degrading about that brain. It's degradation. It's fucking degradation. It's not good. It's the opposite of good. In fact, I'd say it's bad. That's how far I'll go. But if you can avoid that, oh yes. Oh yes. Haven't cared about anything about the Iconics. I haven't really been having it. MJF doesn't suck. He was great on that interview. Don't focus on the one moment. MJF, future world title. No. He sucks. He's not for me, man. I feel, this is what I feel, and I'm gonna drop any hyperbole. I'm just gonna tell you how I honestly feel about the guy. I feel that he is a low-hanging fruit talker. I don't think he has a very good command over the English language. Nowhere near as much as people want to give him credit for. I feel that he has about 15 go-tos for every type of category that is common. Fat person, tall person, skinny person, short person. Before all of the Me Too stuff, before all the woke shit, he probably had a lot of racial stuff as well, if I had to fucking guess. I'm just saying. It's school ground shit. That's all, and it's very cheap. That's my problem with MJF. He feels cheap. There's nothing about him that feels. It doesn't even feel authentic. That's my issue with him. Just feels like he's doing a bit. He feels like an actor. Nothing feels like. Say what you want about the Miz. I believe him, and I've seen how different Mike Mizrachi or whatever the fuck his name, Mike Mizanin. I've seen how different he is from the Miz character at times, so I know he can at least act. But MJF, nah, not so much. I just don't see it. And you're probably right. He will be a future world champ. And the trolling and all that stuff, I don't know. This is not for me. And if he was great in the ring, I'd probably overlook it, because I don't think Daniel Bryan overall is a very good talker, but he's so good fucking in the ring that I don't care. I don't need talking. In fact, I wish most of the talking would be eliminated for the most part, except in controlled interview type situations, man. There needs to be organization to the chaos. Mean Gene. Organization to the chaos. Look at any interview with the Macho Man, and you will understand what I mean by organized chaos. The Macho Man spinning around, we like to talk like this. And Mean Gene, he'd be right there. Yeah, he'd have the microphone. He'd even go and spin with me. Yeah, he'd do whatever he had to do. Yeah, because he understands the madness. He understands that he was the man who was actually doing the conducting of the symphony. Yeah, and the Macho Man was really there just playing the role. It was his segment. Yeah, and the Macho Man was just the little sparkle to get that segment over. Yeah. Organized chaos. The Miz being incredible. I'm not even a big Miz fan, and it's probably why I don't like MJF. I have to begrudgingly defend the Miz, but historically, I hate the Miz. But I gotta give him respect. He's one of the most improved wrestlers from beginning to where he is now, even though I don't feel he's very good overall. Better than MJF, but it's such a drastic improvement. Like, good God, what he was physically, mentally, emotionally speaking, everything, to where he is now? Oh, it's night and fucking day, man. And maybe that's true for a lot of people, but I don't know. For him, it's a whole nother ballpark. But he had a lot to learn. He had a lot to pick up. So that's also, you got to keep that in mind too. Let's see here. Seth drops cryptic threat. Oh my. What did threat say? What did Seth say? And this is all cage side news or some shit. Current obnoxious heel character never fails to annoy fans. Doesn't do scripted promos. Engage. These are terribly written things. Hell awaits for Rollins and Edge. Seth Rollins decided to reply to it. The end is nigh. The end is nigh. What's cryptic about that? The end of the fucking feud. Nobody's gonna die. Jesus. I'm going crazy. I'm going fucking crazy here. The shit. Oh, well, I mean, as a talker. Yeah, oh, God, as a talker. You can't. Miz is not the one. Not as good as... Well, and you can understand Finn. Bray County Island. All right, let's see what else is in there. Jim Ross furious about rumors that he drinks during AEW Dynamite tapings. Nah, JR does. And you know what the funny thing about this is with JR? He's always been defensive when it comes to drinking stuff. Remember when he was pretty much caught red-handed and fought with him and Rick? Remember that? And then he tried to walk it back. Oh, it was overblown. Look, man, you're a drunk. Bobby Heenan was a drunk. Bobby Heenan was drunk off of his fucking mind many times, most notably and most undefensibly. I don't care what allergies or whatever he tried to fucking say it was after. Hog wild. They let him continue to go on. Oh, God, I loved it. Shut up, Jim Ross. Just get out of the game, brother. Just get out of the game. Oh, Karrion Kross news. Yeah, I did see the Karrion Kross thing. Apparently, we're going to get a little bit of a repackage. Bobby Lashley says he has unfinished business with Big E. Well, he's going to die. Unfortunately for Bobby Lashley, he's about to be murdered. He's about to be murdered by Bill Goldberg. By the way, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it live. I don't think I can do it. I don't think it's happening. Really makes me upset to say that. It's a bunch of goddamn bullshit. It really is. But I don't think I have much of a choice. I got to be at work. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do it live. But as soon as I get home, we will go do that. So as for tonight goes, because we're about done here. I'm about finished. I don't have too much more for you guys. We tap danced an hour. I think it was a good show tonight. I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. I've had a good time. Got the Discord open. You can always come in. But I'm only going to tap dance for so long. Got nothing. Hopefully you guys will jump on in and give me some opinions next time. But as for now, I think we're done. So we're going to, I think Nixie and I are going to watch more Letterkenny at some point if she ends up showing up after D&D. Or it's getting kind of late. She might have decided to call it a night after D&D too. That's a possibility as well. We'll figure out something. We also, Nixie and I are going to have to watch the Dave Chappelle comedy special real soon. Because, yeah, that's going to become a serious talking point with this Netflix walkout being planned and stuff. We're going to have to do a full show on it. And I haven't seen the special yet, so I want to talk about it. And I want to have at least my points lined up. So I'm going to definitely watch that. Other than that, I think we can get the old outro music going here. I think it's a good idea. Don't you? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's nice. I've had a great time with you guys. I hope that you've had a good time tonight. It's good being back. It's fun taking back the late night scene, the early late night scene. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Take us home. Tony Khan, the clown jester of professional wrestling. Woo!